Welcome back to the Grim Workshop. Today I'm going to show you a surefire way to make a fire in the woods with limited material, and that's going to be utilizing some charred punk wood. Now, I've showed you how to make charred cloth in a previous video. The advantages to using charred punk wood is it's probably one of the more prevalent resources in my area. Now, punk wood is just a rotten piece of wood, that's all that is. But I've found that if it's too far gone, it doesn't work out for me too well. So this stuff here would probably be okay. I got this branch here kind of up off the ground where it wasn't really in direct contact with the soil. And this is kind of the color I'm looking for. So we're going to break up some of this material and we're going to store it in our tin. Now you can use any metal tin that you've got. This fire starter tin is a little skinny. You're just not going to be able to get as much material in there. But any of these Altoid sized tins work really well. And it's best not to use one of your best ones. This one's been in the salt water. It's got a little bit of rust to it, but this one here is a whole lot worse. So when you're practicing this, just grab an old tin. If it's emergency, use whatever you've got handy. Now, you do not have to punch a hole in here for it to breathe. If this was a sealed tin, as it starts to char, it does create a gas, but there is plenty of holes in here for the gas to escape. These hinge holes are going to work just fine. There is no need to punch a hole in here. So this is what I'm looking for. I don't want one big piece, but I don't need to grind it up into dust either. When one of these pieces ignites, I'm going to be able to pick it up, put it right in my bird's nest, and then blow that into a flame. I've got some extra space here, so we're going to find some other natural materials that we're going to be able to char. So this dead branch here is a tulip poplar, and another thing that works really well to char is going to be this inner bark. This inner bark works for cordage as well. And this one probably is not the best choice for cordage, but I'm definitely gonna be able to get enough of the stringy inner bark to char. So this little ball here, we're just gonna put it right in that tin and close it up. You wanna pack that tin pretty tight, and you wanna repack it as you're using that stuff. So you can take already charred material, add a little bit of fresh to it, and throw it back into the fire and re-char it. You can't overchar the charred material. Now, I do have a second tin here. I'm not going to burn this one, but I'm going to use this one to just get some material back closer to the house. So this is the tops of goldenrods, and you see I've got about 1 million of these. And this is going to work too. So I'm just going to break this off. And I'm just going to pack it in here. This material right here, this is dogbane. So this is a pretty good material for natural cordage as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down. Here is milkweed that we've already used in another video. So the milkweed has a couple properties when it dries. So I'm going to take some of this seed pod material. So I've got an entire milkweed pod in here. I've got the fluff, I've got the milkweed ovum. So I'm going to grab some of this outer milkweed material, just like I am the dogbane. I'm going to peel it off just like I'm making cordage, and I'm going to throw that in our tin as well. Now it's deer season right now, so I'm not going to build a fire right here. I'm going to take all this material back closer to the house and build a fire back there, and we'll make char. So we're going to let that fire build up and then wait till it completely burns out. We're going to pull the tins out with a stick, and then we're going to let them cool down. The worst thing you can do when you're trying to make char is just to peek, see if it's done. Because as soon as you crack that, remember this is superheated and starved of oxygen. So all the oxygen is just going to rush into that tin. Your char is going to burn up and it's going to be no good whatsoever. Now, when I made my char cloth video, I had a couple questions about the purpose of char to begin with. Well, char takes an ember and it's just going to hold and make an ember last a long time. You're not going to strike char and then get an instant flame. So with char, you're going to have to add a bird's nest to it. But what that allows you to do is make a fire with just the slightest bit of a spark. So you can take your hot shot card, which is carbon steel, and you can conserve your ferro rod. You can just barely take a nick with your ferro rod and you're able to light char. But you're also able to take the knife or the striker or the saw or any of the other tools and hit it with a sharp rock. You're able to get a spark. That spark is going to be captured by the char, and then that's going to glow into an ember and let you blow that into a fire. Until you can completely barehand these tins, do not open them. And let's pop this open. So this one is the plant material. That's our goldenrod. That's our dogbane. That's our milkweed. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the punkwood. Yeah, the punkwood's got a little bit more mass to it. Stuff looks good. Now, if this was not fully charred, if you still saw some of the material, some of the wood material or some of the plant material, just throw it back in a fire. Build another fire. It's going to be good to go. Now, the only way you know that you've got good charred material is to put a spark on it. You're going to see the glow of the ember, and when you've got the piece selected that you need, all you got to do is close the tin up. That will starve it of oxygen naturally, and you'll be able to open this tin and use it next time. So the sun's setting pretty quick here, but this will actually show the sparks pretty well. So this one is our punkwood, this one is our goldenrod, milkweed, and dogbane, and this is going to light with just the light nick off our ferro rod. This is going to work with a hard rock as well. Charred material like that's going to be the absolute best way to use our Fresnel lens, and that uses no energy but the sun, but we don't have the sun right now. So I'm going to use the knife and the ferrocerium rod off the hot shot card and just give this a little nick, and that little glow right there showing that we've got good char on the goldenrod and the milkweed. And there we go. There's our punkwood. So you're able to hold that spark with this charred punkwood, and that's going to create a slow burning ember that you can transfer into a bird's nest. So you're not going to use all of your charred material at once, just pull out what you need. And when you're done with it, close your lid, starve it of oxygen, and you're ready for next time.